You can see our breath. It is -3 degrees here in Noboribetsu. Check out the weather forecast. It's supposed to get even colder as the week gets on, high of 1. This is Celsius, so actually 0 degrees Celsius is 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is freezing. This is Matt Alt, if you don't know.
I've been on before.
You've been on before.
Once before.
And he's here for a specific episode that I'm filming for Only in Japan, which is sort of a Christmas-themed episode.
Super excited about this. Tomorrow is going to be amazing.
It's going to be a long day.
It's already been a long day. We had to come all the way from Tokyo out here, and this is a pretty far-flung place. There's no restaurants open.
Check it out.
Look
It's
at this.
dead.
Look at the street.
It's dead. Oh, look at it. Okay, move this here. Look at this. There's not a soul on the street. In fact, we couldn't get any restaurants that were open. There's a 7-Eleven at the end of the street, but even that.
At the end of the street, like several kilometers away.
That's not that far. Isn't that light that we see?
Yeah.
That's a 7-Eleven.
Up
but
ahead in the distance.
At minus, I think it's now minus degrees, certainly.
Oh, it's definitely, this is freezing. It's been snowing. It's been like flurrying. And, you know, we're from Tokyo. It's kind of a semi-tropical environment.
It is, yeah. The flurries did accumulate here. It's not really sticking, but there was definitely snow as we arrived in here. We're staying at a guest house. I showed this place in a live stream 3 years ago, before I did the Naked Man Festival here, which is at the Onsen town about 7 kilometers in that direction. This is a really great guest house. It's about 4,000 yen a night with breakfast. And it's right next to the train station, which is just over there.
And you sleep in a box.
It is pretty much, it's actually up there.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Can you see this up there?
Yeah, I can see it right there.
It is. It's like
There's
a curtain
box.
and a box. It's like a capsule hotel, but like a plywood coffin.
It works for me. It works. All right, there's a reason why we're starting this live stream outside rather than inside. They have an ice cream machine where the
Yes.
what would you say, the condensers?
Like a soft serve cream machine
Yeah,
is chilling down or something. And look, it's negative out here. They could just bring the ice cream
They
machine.
could just bring the machine outside. I don't know why they need to freeze an ice cream machine. It's more than freezing here. It would taste better in the natural cold. Save some energy. But it started to, this freezer started going, da, 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 da. Anyways, you're going to see right now because we're going to take you in because you cannot.
Hopefully it stopped. Wait,
I cannot take it out here.
Do I have? I'm going to try to punch in the number.
Okay, you go punch in the number. I'll stay right here. Yeah, the big symbol for Noboribetsu, which is where we are in Hokkaido, is the Oni, or the Japanese demon, which is pretty cool and frightening. So after a certain time, there's a punch code to get in.
Yes.
Okay, let's get in here.
It's still going.
It's still going.
The machine is still going.
All right, now we have an excuse. All right, so now you can hear the ice cream. Now that...
Oh, man. Baby, it's cold outside.
Did I crack the screen? Are you guys okay? I'm really sorry. You guys okay in there?
We're not even drunk. What happened?
That's true. I've been driving all day.
Yeah, we're not even drunk. Wow.
You have. You've been drinking. I
have been
not.
drinking a little bit, but not enough to knock this thing off its rocker.
It's right off of the end of the table here.
I'm just glad you didn't break your screen.
These things are indestructible until they aren't. I want to show you a little bit about our trip here to Hokkaido. This is at the airport. No, this is the.
Oh, yeah, this is cool. This is cool.
This is cool. This is the first shot here.
You can see Fuji.
Yeah, you know when the let me turn this. Make sure the sound is down. When the weather is clear in the winter, you get views like this very often. Anytime it's clear in the summer, you probably wouldn't be able to see this, but you have Mount Fuji and this parallax as the airplane is going to the takeoff to the runway. I thought that was
like an old
really
Nintendo
stunning.
game, you know, where the different layers are moving in front of the screen. That's what parallax is.
It is really pretty, yeah.
It's cool.
This one is from the sky after we had taken off here. And you can see, look down into the city of Tokyo, and I particularly like this because you see the sky tree down there on the bottom of the screen.
Way down there, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll zoom in into that one. This is a really useful shot. I'm making an episode on the sky tree later. But on a clear winter day is when you really get...
That was John just jumping out of the plane, by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot closer to the sky tree. That's the world's tallest freestanding tower. And you can see the Sumida River, Asakusa down there, and from the airplane, which is so cool that we had such a clear sky. A really nice flight. Different angles here. This is also Tokyo from the takeoff. This is the man-made island. This is, I call it like Gomishima. It's all like made from trash. Odaiba.
Reclaimed land. That's a nice way of calling it.
Dinosaur bridge. I like that. It looks like two dinosaurs battling on the right side.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is a cool shot.
It's pretty cool. You can't get that with a drone because drones are illegal in the Tokyo Bay because of the flights going by.
And I couldn't get that because you were sitting in the window seat.
That's true. I did purposely take the window seat, yeah. You can see the plane on the bottom of the screen there, but that's Tokyo, the city. So flying into Haneda gives you these kinds of views, which is kind of cool. And flying out of Haneda also gives you these kinds of views here.
Very, very cool.
That is pretty cool.
So are you gonna tease what we're doing tomorrow?
I think a lot of you might even know. If you've been following the series for a while, I have a friend named Wakaki-san who has a toy museum here, and I'm making a Christmas episode where I think I'm somebody who absolutely loves Christmas. I absolutely adore the holiday. It's a time where I think, as I said a couple days ago with my son, we went out Christmas tree looking, just like window shopping, Christmas tree, just looking at Christmas trees and windows. And I always thought that Christmas brings out the best in people. Maybe it's from It's a Wonderful Life, and you see all the movies that make you just feel really good. It's a time when you should feel good because you can forget about the winter chill in the air.
Which there's a lot of.
There's a lot of it here. But I wanted to make an episode that is focused on Japanese toys.
Yes.
And there isn't anybody better who knows more about this than this man right here.
So I wrote a book, and it's called Pure Invention: How Japan Made the
Plug
Modern
away.
World. Can you see this? I'm plugging. Please check this out. And this is all about toys. It's about how Japanese toys made Japan and all of us. And so this is such an exciting thing for me because Mr. Wakaki's museum is just this amazing. We took a little peek in today, and there is stuff in there that is going to absolutely blow your mind. Whether you're a toy collector like me, or whether you're just a normal person like the rest of humanity, I really think it's going to blow your mind.
Like that generator chilling the ice cream over there.
That is pretty mind-bending.
We're not on an airplane anymore. Literally, I don't know how bad it sounds to you, but it's pretty annoying to us. Like it happened 1 minute before we pushed. We were going to start this live stream.
Yeah, no, literally, it was quiet in here. It was quiet.
Apologies. Yeah, we have some pictures here, Matt. What do you?
So let's look at some of these. Let's look at some of these.
Start from the.
So why don't we start with this? Yeah. So this is right outside the museum. Look at these like awesome robot figures. I actually don't even know what series this is. I just love these. They look like Oni, but they're like robots. You know, Oni are like Japanese folkloric ogres. And these are, it's the whole symbol of this town, so I guess that's why he did this, but I think it's really cool. But there's some characters in here you might know. This is Gigantor, known as Tetsujin 28. This is a mask, a really, really cool mask. And these are like kind of plastic masks that were sold at like Matsuri festivals in Japan.
He had like the original one too, right?
He had the original one in there. These are kaiju soft vinyl figures. You can see Ultraman up there. That's Ultraman Ace, I think, up there at the left. I don't know who the monkey is. He's awesome. Ultraman at the right. And kaiju, Japanese giant monsters, cousins of Godzilla in here. This one's awesome. This is a Macross Valkyrie. This was in Robotech in the United States. It transforms into like an F-14 fighter. And he had this it transforms. This is like it was sold as Jetfire in the United States as a transformer, but this is the original version of it. And there's just so much great stuff at this museum. I can't even begin to tell you.
I've already done a live stream here, which you can see on this channel, but what makes this really special is that I came back to film this really slowly. So today, we talked quite a bit, and if there's no sunlight in here, it's really hard to film in there.
Yeah.
So we're going back tomorrow morning and start really early and filming there for most of the day until there's no more daylight, and to get the story. And basically inside of Wakaki-san's museum, which is his personal collection, gone wild.
Yes.
You can see the history of Japan through the toys, which I thought was fascinating, which connects very much into the book that he wrote.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of synergy, and Matt, I guess, is more or less, he's going to be the one taking over this episode. I'll just be the one editing it.
No. This is just
I got a few
all
things
you. I'm just a helper. But no, it's true. Japanese toys made Japan. After World War II, they were the first products that were exported, and they rebuilt the economy here. We're going to be talking about this a lot more tomorrow, but it's like, toys are so much more than just playthings, right? They say a lot about the people who make them. It says things about them, the way they're consumed, the people who play with them, the toys we give our kids. There's stories in there.
Yeah, Japan was a manufacturing powerhouse after World War II, maybe in the 50s, 60s, 70s, fueled the Japanese miracle. And you see that in the toys. Again, as you said, made in Japan for Japan, and then made in Japan
for the rest of the world, right? Because that's how most of us fell in love with Japan. It's certainly how I fell in love with Japan. It was through toys, you know? That was the first. I didn't like fly to Japan as a 5-year-old. I was given a Japanese robot toy as a 5-year-old. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And so like, this is kind of like going to the heartland, you know?
Right. Which is why this place is kind of special. Again, it's what I liked about this. There are other toy museums that are way better than this, but there's a personal connection to all the things in this museum back to, thank goodness.
It stopped.
Oh my God, that was so annoying.
Yes.
We asked, when's it gonna stop? And said, I don't know, whenever it's done.
Because they take ice cream very seriously in this. They take two things seriously in this town: ice cream and toys.
It says here, it is grass-fed milk ice cream.
Yeah, so Noboribetsu. I mean, the dairy products here,
really
the beer, like, this is.
How'd you go from dairy straight to beer?
Well, I mean, that's what I usually, you know, it's my two food groups.
Well, I guess so.
And the third food group is toys.
Yeah, the third group.
My entire, if you dissected me, like 1/3 is milk, 1/3 is beer, and 1/3 is toys.
Silicon or plastic or tin? Which one? The three elements that Japan used to make toys.
It's true. Silicon, die-cast, tin, plastic.
Yeah.
It's like the elemental.
We get into the episode that I'm here to produce, which is really exciting. I'll be out editing this as I go back home and get this out to you before Christmas. With all things willing, this will be out as ASAP. But you know, going back to Wakaki-san, I met him 20 years ago. Before there was a social media, I didn't really know the people who picked me up on a hitchhiking trip, but I did know that Wakaki-san was right outside here because he saw me hitchhiking in front of his shop in 2003. He came over and he goes, you know, what are you doing? And I said, I'm hitchhiking. Because he's very direct. No one's going to stop for you here. And I go, well, I'm here and I'm just trying. Nobody stopped for me at the interchange either. So he said, okay, well, come inside. And he made me a cup of coffee. His wife made me a cup of coffee. And the three of us sat down and we talked for about 30 minutes. And he said, I will take you to a better place. And he spent time and took me in his car and he drove me to another place. And 20 years ago when I did this trip in 2003, I didn't keep in touch with any of those other people except for Wakaki-san.
Because you knew where he was.
Because I knew exactly where he was. This is before social media. Yeah. And since then, I've I think we all care about the people who have impacted our lives, and he's one of those people in that moment who really, that trip is one of the reasons why I stayed in Japan. So I connect that feeling back then with him. So when I see him,
warm feelings.
Not just that, but it takes me back to when I was a young man and he was a younger man, and we shared that memory together that was brought back, like when I saw him again, 2003, and then I saw him again in 2017. Yeah. So about 14, 15 years later, I saw him again. We were much older. But I've kept in touch with him this time, and this is maybe my 6th time. He's already met Kanai and Leo before, and
he's 85.
He's 85.
He's 85 and still doing really well.
He's doing very well, walking up and down the stairs, despite the cigarettes.
There's a lot of smoking going. There's more smoking than I would like, but he's made it 85 years. So, and actually, I think the one thing you need to stress here is like, Wakaki-san runs this really cool museum.
He does.
But he also runs a real toy store. It's down the street, right? And so like, there's this toy store, and like some of the stuff in there is stock from his toy store, but it's just so cool to me that he's an actual like toy slinger. Do you know what I mean?
He's a salesman.
He runs a toy, and he's been running it since 1968.
Yeah.
1968.
It's pretty amazing. So I get a lot. We both have a lot of questions for him, in particular with his collection. It's pretty massive, and it's not just toys either. He's collected a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's got like record players from like the turn of the century.
The first Walkman.
Yeah, he's got the second Walkman.
Oh, the second
But he's
Walkman.
vacuum tube radios, like old magazines. He's got like military uniforms.
The first PlayStation, first Nintendo before it was Nintendo. The stuff before Nintendo was Nintendo that has marked Nintendo. Nintendo wasn't always a game manufacturer.
They used to be a toy company.
Well, don't tell them that. This is
sorry.
This is save it. This is stuff that you don't even know about these companies. it's going to blow you away. And I'm pretty excited about this. And we'll finish the production of it tomorrow, and I just come into the editing here. I want to show you a little bit about Noboribetsu. Now, we were going to do this outside at this town, but it's just too darn cold.
Freezing, and it was scary on the roads. They're kind of freezing.
Well, that's the reason why I don't want to drive up there. I don't want to drive up there. The roads were pretty much frozen.
We were kind of sliding. We actually saw a car accident.
There was a car accident.
Yeah, fortunately, the people are okay, but the car isn't.
Yeah, the police had flares up, and we're here on the kind of the south side of Hokkaido, the island. This is right by the Noboribetsu station, and I want to show you where the Onsen town is.
By the way.
Yeah, it's like Google Earth. So the mountains, that's the Pacific Ocean, and the Onsen town, the hot spring town, is about 7 kilometers up into the hills.
In Hell Valley.
Yeah, Jikokudani, and this is why we didn't want to drive up there tonight, because it had snowed and it is a little bit black icy up there.
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
But I've taken you into this town before, and if you haven't, on my edited video channel, this is the live streaming channel, you can see me in the Snow Festival, which is a naked man festival. I'm in a thong. Don't laugh. It's a holy ritual that's been going on for decades.
This is true. I
It's
don't
a Shinto religious festival.
I don't think of you in a thong usually, I think of you as...
Well, after you watch this episode, you will, a lot, because you can't avoid it. Although
I promise
there were no
you'll
close-ups
never have to think of me in a thong. I promise.
That's a good thing. But you will have to think of me if you watch this episode, which is the first one on my edited channel. I like to not compete, but to participate in these things, because I do feel more connected to Japan when you do these things that might look silly, but you don't understand it until you do it sometimes.
Yes. And they absolutely have a deeper meaning and reason, and it does look silly to us, but sometimes abroad. But there's absolutely a deeper cultural reason and a history to this stuff, and that's why it's really cool to. I envy you. I don't have the constitution.
You will not be saying that in -12, and I'm running around in an underwear. You don't envy me. You envy me after I edit the video.
No, I envy you in this big picture sense. I don't
the big picture sense. I don't even know what that means. So here, I want to show you a couple of things. This is where we had dinner tonight. All right, we couldn't find a restaurant that was open here in Noboribetsu. You can see the icy streets there.
We really had to look.
What's this place called?
The Soda Shokudo, and it's like this. It's basically a Japanese diner.
Soda written in katakana,
soda,
which
like
is S-O-D-A, like cola.
Like cola, right?
Yeah.
Look at this ice.
Up in this town.
Look at the food we had though. This is my nabeyaki udon.
That looked really good.
It was good. It
looked too healthy for me.
Well, I was having beer with it, so.
All right, yeah. So what did I go for? I went for the katsukare. It's always a good go-to, which is a deep-fried breaded pork cutlet with this spicy curry on top of.
And then what did you get? The ass
rice.
kicking. What was it called? The ass
All
kicking.
Right. Did you take a picture?
I did.
I don't have a picture.
I'll pull it out. No, the menu thing is awesome. So you can show the food. You show the food, and I'll show what the title is.
Check this out here. So this had a name. The only reason I ordered it was because of the English menu name to this.
Are you guys ready?
Okay. And I'll show you the picture again in a second. All right, go ahead, do it. Can you even see it? It says in here, hell ass kicking hot zangi, which is karage.
Zangi is what they call fried chicken up here in Noboribetsu,
Yeah,
but this is hell ass kicking hot.
The English menu said hell ass kicking. How could you not try that?
It was pretty, but it was, it wasn't spicy like American ghost pepper or like a Cambodian or like
It was like shichimi spicy.
Yeah, it was shichimi spicy. It was a little tingly. I liked it. I actually thought it was very good.
It was good. I think you didn't eat your last piece though.
Didn't I?
I don't. You left it. You took a bite and put it back. I saw that.
I think I did finish it eventually. And then we saw Santa Claus.
Right. The highlight was here in the Grand Noboribetsu Hotel. And this is the lobby. This is a really 4 or 5 star hotel. And they had Santa Oni, which is the demons of Noboribetsu. And you can see he's been
Santa.
I don't know, it's like Satan wearing a Santa hat.
Totally.
Which is sacrilegious.
Satan Claus.
What the heck is going on here?
But actually, I asked Satan for a present, and I think I'm going to get it tomorrow. Going to the toy museum.
Oh yeah, right. Well, look, you know what? Well, look at poor Santa on the left side there. They took him. Did you see him? It's like the Oni beat him down.
The little tiny
He
Santa.
beat down the real Santa on the left side there. You can't even see
you know,
him.
everybody wants to sit on Oni Santa's lap. That's
Right.
for sure.
There's the real Santa. He put to the side here. I also sat down with Santa here, but unfortunately, you can see I made sure that the Oni knew I was a good boy.
Exactly. Yeah, because he's just going to punish you no matter what. Good boy, good boy.
I don't want any trouble.
Who is it? Is it the Germans? They have like Krampus. He's like the anti-Santa. This kind of reminds me of this.
I don't know, but no trouble, please. I just, yeah.
So what else can we share? I'm trying to think, like, you know, I think this is a pretty solid preview of what's going to happen tomorrow, but this is an amazing place. I really recommend anybody who's visiting Japan to come up here.
Yeah, Noboribetsu was a really interesting. I did have one quick video that I wanted to show you when we got into Noboribetsu, the snow that we had.
Oh yeah, it was flurrying.
Yeah, so we came from Tokyo, which was actually quite warm, and then you can see here, I believe this is this playing? Yeah, here it is. You can see the flurries that we had at Chitose Airport.
Oh, there's an F-15.
Yeah, there's the F-15, which was these booms in the distance from the super fast jets. But this is Chitose Airport in Hokkaido, and you can see we arrived into this, and that's what we had driving as well for part of it. But you know, this is Hokkaido, so no little bit of snow is not going to stop them.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, I don't even think this got reported in like the weather. Do you know what I mean? It's just like...
It said partly cloudy and sunny, and we had snow, so it's hard to...
It's been snowing all day. If this happened in Tokyo, it would be like apocalyptic.
It probably would, yeah. It would definitely stop traffic. There'd be lines of traffic going 2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Here people are, you know...
Well, Tokyo doesn't even
Hokkaido drifting.
Tokyo doesn't have snowplows. There's no snowplows in Tokyo. They're just not set up for it. It's like North Carolina or something.
That's true. Right, the weather very much like Virginia.
Yeah.
Sendai is very equivalent to like Boston.
Yeah, Sendai is Boston. Hokkaido's got to be like Canada, Toronto,
like Montreal.
Something like
Danny's
that.
up there. We have some good people up in Montreal. I can see that. There's a lot of snow. They're ready for anything. Vermont or something.
If you ever put like, you know, have you seen those maps where they put like the islands of Japan on the east coast of America, and you're like, what? It's like so mind blowing. It's like Okinawa's down to like Florida.
Right.
You know, Tokyo is North Carolina. It's actually the like Raleigh.
Yeah, Kyushu would be like South Carolina, I think.
Longitude, latitude.
About, but the weather that you have on the West Coast, and maybe even on the East, on the East Coast, maybe even the West Coast, is very similar to the way Japan is. But Japan, you know, I said this before, it actually goes east to west more than it goes north to south.
Totally.
So,
you think of it like this, but it's actually like this. Yeah.
So we'd say East Japan and West West Japan. We have a coupon for ice cream for tomorrow.
We do. I wonder if it's. I have it in my pocket.
But I'm gonna take a picture of it. We'll see if we can get it tomorrow.
We have it.
We got it. So we're gonna get some ice cream. They had like a waffle cone, I think, which is pretty cool.
No, it looks really good. I was partaking of their gin, but the ice cream looks quite good too. So
yeah, I'm gonna, you know, this guest house. I guess we can take them upstairs really quickly. You think? I don't know.
I don't think we can talk. There's people asleep up there.
People already asleep. Okay, we better not do it.
Yeah.
This is.
I mean, it's past 10.
This is where I stayed when I filmed that Naked Man Festival here, the Yu Matsuri, or the Onsen Matsuri here in Noboribetsu. Again, it's held in February in Hokkaido with a thong. It was crazy. First of all, I couldn't believe that they still had this, and I said, if I'm going to restart over my channel, I'm going to do it with an impactful episode, and that's as impactful as I think you could get.
It's not a thong. It's a fundoshi.
You know what? If you look at my rear end, it is a thong to everybody else for the rest of the world. A fundoshi is spelled F-U-N-D-O-S-H-I. F-U-N, no fun. Because it's basically inserted like a wedgie. They actually wedgie you at the end.
It's like old-fashioned Japanese underwear, basically.
I think so, but they actually do the wedgie to make sure it's tight and doesn't come out.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the problem. It doesn't come out, even after.
Oh man, I don't even want to be thinking about this. Now I'm going to be dreaming about this or something.
No, that's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
It's a dream come true for who? Not that fundoshi.
Oh man.
And I think Peso, which is one of our moderators, also put in some of those animated GIFs of the wedgie.
Oh man.
Peso, did you do that? You know, I don't know. It's a little bit too far. Take it too far.
I'm actually, you know,
It's really in there. I turn to the camera. I look down like this, and I go up. I go, it's really in there. And he made that into an animated GIF, and you could see me mouthing it.
but you,
know
you can't put it on yourself. Somebody else has to put it on you. I mean, I don't know how to tie it.
No, you can. Some people could do it.
Well,
but,
sure. I mean, if you're used
but you
to
need
it.
like someone to give you the ending.
The ending. Don't say that.
It's true. I've had to wear fundoshi a little bit too much over the last 10 years of making this show. That's about it. Matt, do you have anything you want to say to the people? We got here, Jason's writing here, Matt Alt Cameo.
Thank you for even recognizing
Matt Alt's world
me.
famous.
I know, you know, Matt, not as famous as you. Maybe like one tiny little bit is famous. No, it's really cool to get back on the saddle. I haven't been doing TV in a while. I've been busy with like writing and other stuff. So this is really, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, not at all.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity because it's really A, it's cool to come up to Hokkaido. It's just cool to come up here. B, it's really cool to go and see the toy museum. And then it's always cool to be on Only in Japan. So it's a trifecta. It's a trifecta.
It's gonna be a fun episode, and this will be like our Christmas episode. I'll put it like last year I had speed wrapping.
Yes.
How fast could you wrap a package? And
Yes.
in Japan, it's part of the service, the omotenashi.
Yes.
They did it in like 10 seconds, 12 seconds. It's ridiculous. And this time, you know, the meaning of Japanese toys. I think the stories behind it in particular. For somebody that I care about, somebody who's my friend.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He's super interesting. He's funny as hell.
He is funny, and also I have to say, your viewership, the stuff I was seeing going by in the comments, like people are saying Takatoku and Clover, and like they know all the toy companies. They know this stuff. So like you guys and gals are primed for this amazing experience we're gonna have tomorrow. And Wakaki-san, like you say, he's great. He was really dropping some like philosophical stuff on us today, and I hope to pull that out of him.
What was the one thing he said about Buddha?
Well, I asked him, I'm like, you know, there's basically two types of collectors in this world, right? There's like the completists, and then the people who aren't, or just kind of collect what they like. And there's none is higher or lower or better or worse or anything like that. But I said to him, I'm like, you're obviously not a completist. And he's like, what, do I look like I'm Buddha? You know, he's like, the only one complete is the enlightened one, you know, and we're not enlightened, we're people. We make mistakes and we're imperfect. So our collections are imperfect. They should be imperfect. You can't strive for perfection.
I want to be friends with that guy.
Well, what am I, Buddha?
You know, he said this.
He basically said this.
No. But yeah, that kind of mentality is so true. But you know,
well, you know, I mean, collecting is kind of like, it's fun. You know, I'm a collector, but you're kind of like always one kind of fine line between going crazy, because it's like if you start really going down the rabbit hole, you get everything, you know, and then like you're not really doing what you like, you're doing what an obsession is. And one of the great things about Wakaki-san is he's not obsessed.
Which is why he's so centered and balanced and interesting. Like, it's like he couldn't get the toy to complete the set, and he's like, all right, I'm pretty content with what I have.
Yes.
Or he ordered toys to sell with the intention, like, if it doesn't sell, that's okay.
Yeah, he's not an investor. That's the other thing.
I'm just going to collect them. It's okay. No, he didn't sell those toys.
He doesn't care. It's like most people who like spend a lot of money on a toy, they're like, well, in the future this will appreciate, and I can sell it for like, you know, this is going to be my stock. You know what I mean? My mutual fund. Not him. He's just into it because he loves it.
You're gonna love this episode. So this will be out in around the 19th of December. Yeah. So I gotta do the thumbnail. Don't forget to tell me
the thumbnail. Yes.
I have to
the
get
eternal
Wakaki-san holding up his precious treasure.
The eternal thumbnail.
Something you know, it's his story, and then maybe me and Matt will be behind him or something, holding up Godzilla or whatever. If he'll let us touch his. The good thing is he is generous in letting us touch his collection.
He's not freaky about that.
There's like some toy collectors that they have their Star Wars things in the original packaging.
Don't touch.
Yeah.
You know.
The 40-year-old version. You remember that? Like, there's people. Come on, let me be honest with you.
Well, they're not really fun.
I'm not sure I want to be your friend.
Right. No, but I mean, this. You know, if you're a collector, you know.
I want to play with the toys. I'm the kid. You know.
That's a different level of collecting, I guess. That's like
adult collecting. Are toys made for kids or adults?
Well, they're made by adults.
For who?
For kids, theoretically. Although now it's interesting with the birth rate declining in Japan, the most expensive and elaborate toys are all made for adults.
That's a good point. I never, you know, when you add in demographics and
yes.
But a lot of these toys are. Some of them are still made in Japan.
Oh, many.
Japan is not the biggest manufacturer of them anymore.
Well, Japan is what you call kind of a post-industrial society, right? Like it has moved beyond being the manufacturer of things, and now it's more of a disseminator of ideas, of concepts. You know, anime is a thing, manga is a thing, but it's really kind of software. You know, it's content. So Japan has moved toward a more content production sort of thing, and you see this a lot in advanced societies, especially aged ones, because they don't have a lot of young people to work in factories anymore. But
it's true.
It's just how it goes.
This is a topic for another day, but you know, now that you're here, because we always talk about these kinds of stuff. Like I look at Japanese cinema and how bad the stories are with that, how bad the acting and the stories are with Japanese. Well, Japanese cinema in general is not even comparable to Korean cinema, for example. It's like I think Japanese cinema is on maybe.
I think Korea is wrestling with more existential problems than Japan is. That's part of it.
Perhaps the stories are more dynamic. But my point is this: when you have when you watch anime, the stories are so good.
Right.
They reverberate so well with the viewers.
Japan's great at stylizing stuff, like super stylizing it, and I don't think that stylization conveys as well because their live action stuff is very stylized too. I mean, look at Japanese stage. It's like kabuki. Right. It's like the most stylized thing in the world, to the point where kabuki is like like an idiom now. You know, I'm not into this kabuki or political kabuki. You know, but it's stylization is the name of the game here. And when you do it as an illustration, I don't know, it just has more power.
Maybe, yeah, I guess so. It's just because anime is just so darn good and well thought out and planned, and if you like writing for TV movies in the U.S. is so good for the dramas. Television is now much better than Hollywood in the U.S.
Streaming series,
you know, and then you see Japanese cinema versus Japanese anime,
right?
And it's like the anime, the storylines and everything is just so darn good.
It hits a sweet spot.
It does, and you don't get that in the cinema very often.
No, I think anime is more aimed at adolescence. It's like a kind of adolescent angst, is that the word? You know, it's all about that kind of stew of emotions.
That ripples to adults?
Well, no, but I think most anime is not made for adults.
Oh.
I think it's made for teenagers. You know, that's why so much of it is set in schools. You know, like Jujutsu Kaisen set in a school, like the Demon Slayer, they're all school kids, basically. Like most of the Akira, they're all school kids, they're high school kids. You know,
but these are adults telling the story.
But they're adults, of course, telling the story and using the kids. You know, but that's the thing. It's like, you know, it appeals to the young person in all of us, and also young people are the most dynamic. I mean, I feel I'm a pretty dynamic person, but of course, the most dynamic thing in this room is the ice cream maker.
Yeah, it's back on.
I think that's our cue, because now I'm melting.
I smell like the onsen bath too. Like
I took a shower, but like it was an amazing onsen. They had minerals on it.
This is probably has the best water for onsen in Japan, so they say. But Wakaki-san said the service,
Yeah.
So the best water, but the service, But he's a local, so he probably feels that way. I don't know. We were a little bit taken back, like what? But that's what we love about.
I think the service is great. He tells it like it is.
He's dead on honest.
Yes.
He does not sugarcoat anything, which is what makes it pretty cool to be here. Well, it's nice to be here, and thanks Matt for coming, and for all of you for watching. If you have a question, you can leave it in the comments below, and we'll do another live stream tomorrow. We go back to Tokyo tomorrow. This is just a one-day trip to film this, but I think one day is all it really takes for this, specifically on the toys.
And just be excited when this episode comes out. Just mind-blowing. Totally mind-blowing.
It's my duck face. You're saying, like, in order to succeed on Instagram, you need to have a look.
Oh, yes.
God, Peso probably going to make a gif out of that one.
Really great seeing all you guys.
All right, matane. Good night.